Hi everyone, welcome to Type Talks. Today we have 5 ESFPs reacting to memes. Nari, would you like to tell us a bit about you?
Hi, my name's Nari. I live in New York City, which is a very SE-Dom city. So all you SE-Doms, come visit. I'll show you around. My job is I'm working in HR. I've been doing HR for about 3 years. Before that, I was teaching in a high-needs school in the Bronx. And before that, I was teaching English in Japan. So that's a fun trip. And I got into MBTI through a friend who told me he was an introvert, and that blew my mind because I didn't know what that meant.
That's awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
I also work in HR too. And so Shane?
My name is Shane. I am a luxury apartment leasing agent in Beverly Hills, California. And I got into the MBTI from the 16 personalities test. I thought I was an ESTP for a while, but upon further reflection and a lot of professional testing and my own continuing education of the functions and everything, determined my type solidly as ESFP, which I'm happy to be a part of. As far as Enneagram goes, I'm a 3-wing 2, which isn't the most common, but there are a few ESFPs with that Enneagram type. And Hogwarts House, I'm a Slytherin. That's another kind of anomaly. I think most of us are Hufflepuffs or Gryffindors. And I guess that's about it. I used to teach science fiction English before I was an apartment leasing agent. And before that, I was a professional surfer. So I've lived like some different lives all wrapped up in one, but I'm enjoying it here in the moment and happy to be a part of this panel.
Yeah, you must have great balance if you can surf really well. Just stay on that board without falling. Something I can't do. So I admire that.
Well, thanks.
Yes, and so Ikraam?
Hi everyone, I'm Ikraam. I'm 25 years old. I'm no longer barista. The last video I was. I'm a grant writer now, and I'm an Enneagram 4, self-preservation 4. I'm never sure about my wings. I always go back and forth between 3 and 5. I'm not sure. And what else? Oh, and I'm a writer as well. So I'm working on a script for a movie, and yeah.
Yes, and Ikraam has a YouTube channel now.
Skip and Mope, yeah. It's a like a kind of a podcast channel to talk about objective personality, which is the system I was typed in.
Cool.
Awesome.
And Marianne?
Hey y'all, I'm Mariana. I am still a CPA, but I'm Enneagram 2, wing 3. I got into Myers-Briggs through actually my work. It helped me see as a CPA in public accounting. It's like, oh, this all makes sense, so I don't fit in. And so actually through that, it was back in, I think, 2014 or 15. It's a lot of just like, I like what Shane said about kind of like continuing education. I feel like everybody in Myers-Briggs should have to do that. But I was able to discover a lot about myself and really got into training and facilitation of new hires and onboarding. So kind of more like the HR-ish type role of that. And so now I'm not working in public accounting anymore. I'm still unemployed from COVID, but it's been a really nice break. So yeah. Oh, and I'm 30. I don't know if I said I'm 33 and I live in Mississippi right now.
Awesome. And so Sally?
Hi, I'm Sally. I got into Myers-Briggs by taking a test in my school. And at first I didn't think much of it, but then I got super obsessed with it. And now I can't stop talking about it online. No one in real life wants to listen, so I'm over the internet where I go meet people who like it. It's just like a dream come true.
Yeah, it is legitimately a dream come true. It's also
Relatable.
a dream come true to be in a room full of ESFPs that I get to vicariously live through your amazing energy.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Yeah, cool. And so, hey Jeff, is your camera working?
Hello.
Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Anything.
Born in New Jersey, but I got out of there as soon as I could. And I've lived in Texas for a long time now. I work in an office for a fast food franchise, and I like to play tennis and watch old TV shows, and yeah. College football. I don't know what else to say. I have a lot of different entertainment hobbies.
Cool. And my name is Joyce, and I'm a certified MBTI practitioner. and we're here to discuss the topic of memes. Thank you, all you ESFPs, and I guess to myself too, for putting all these memes together. And I guess let's react. So
I think that's hilarious.
This is one of the only ones that I like that I found.
Oh, me too. This is the only one I like. This is like one of the only ones I really resonated with, because back when like I had like this friend group in my class, and I'd always be the one making like these dirty jokes and everything, and we just had a massive blast. And then as soon as we get out of class, I'm alone again, and it's just exactly like that photo. And it's just everything just goes downhill after that.
Whenever I like teach trainings, like when I was teaching at the firm I worked at, it was so fun and so engaging. Like, it was a lot of humor. And like whenever it was all over, I didn't have like a hangover in the sense of like from drinking or anything, but it was almost like I had been so wound up that it was like really hard to unwind. And I felt like I looked like that picture where I'm like kind of sad it's all over, but also I'm like exhausted. I don't know. It kind of makes me think of that. Like all the fun's over.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah, that is so true.
On the meme, I like to think that that's how people feel after I leave. And then they're all sad after I go.
Yeah. The life of the party.
For me, I have like a little. I've got a high that kind of like carries over for about half an hour to an hour after I get home, and then I crash hard, and I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, that's lovely.
It's like there's like a rebellion in me at first, or I don't really want to unwind. It's like the TE still going. I feel like because it's such a fun high, like when you have had a lot of fun, and then it's like you don't want it to be over, but at the same time, it's like once you kind of do like 30 minutes to an hour, kind of start settling down.
That's exactly.
You like don't realize how tired you were. You're actually tired. You just didn't realize it.
Yeah, it's like when I have one of those events at night, and I come home, I can't sleep for like 30 minutes to an hour, and all of a sudden, bye. But it's like during that time, I'm talking to myself. I'm in like jumping around. It's like I'm not the only one.
I feel like it's like so like where you get your source of energy from. It's such an extrovert. I'm sure that's very true for extroverts.
Yeah, it's very true for extroverts. Yeah. Yeah, plus the type 7 Enneagram plus extrovert, you just equal this meme like more.
That's Sally's life right there.
All right.
That meme. That's awesome.
Yes. Time for the next meme. Oh, this is John.
Oh, this is so funny.
Love it.
So basically, ESFP hitting bullseye with the axe throwing thing. I bet that was like his first try too. John.
That's awesome.
We miss you, John.
I know. I wish he was here.
Yeah, that'd be cool if he like everyone like from that chat could be in here, but unfortunately he couldn't make it.
Yeah, we're just like parents showing off our child now. Like our child is John.
ESFP like poster child.
That is so true.
I do not live up to that stereotype. I am the most uncoordinated SE dom I've ever met.
Yeah.
So every time everybody's like, "Oh, SE doms are like great at sports," I'm like, well, actually, no.
Let me tell you something. I was drinking some water last night, and I spilled it on myself. So where did the stereotype come from? Because that ain't it.
Joyce, whenever we're like, Joyce and I are going to do like an interview, and I was actually taking notes, like kind of brainstorming for our call. And it's funny, something I wrote down was axe throwing. So I guess I'm going to take John's side on this one. I went axe throwing, was like some like end of busy season party for work a while ago. And people like were drinking while they were throwing axe. I was like, this doesn't feel like a place I want to be drinking. But it was like, I threw it a couple of times, and I get really frustrated in sports if I can't do something right away. And so what I did, it kind of made me think back to the ESFP panel. We were talking about like kind of like mimicking somebody, or like just body, just in general, like kinesthetics. And I watched the guy who worked there, he like showed how to throw it again, and I just watched exactly his motions, and I didn't hit a bullseye immediately.
Yeah, I think it's like a hit or miss thing with ESFPs. There are some who really do it. Yeah, pun intended. Yeah. And where it comes from is like some SE users, they're able to know like when they watch you do it, how to do it themselves. Like my mother's an ESFP, and she can know how to cook something by looking at you do it. She can like tell exactly how you're holding the spoon, or how you're flipping the material, like like with the pants and stuff, and she doesn't need any instructions. It's more of a learning by looking and doing.
It also takes practice too.
Cooking as an example. Sorry, Sally. I said I was going to use cooking as an example because I'm not very good at sports, but I realized like I have asthma and I also have like I have really bad sight, so that's probably why I wouldn't be able to do the axe throwing thing. But when you were talking about Mary, when you're talking about looking at somebody else and being able to mimic what they do, I do that all the time actually. Yeah. So I'm able to do that when it comes to dancing, and I'm able to do that when it comes to cooking and actually just jobs in general. Like if you need to do something quickly, like I can pick up after watching somebody do it for a little bit. Yeah.
Do you have a hard time though explaining it to somebody though if someone asked you? Because I have a hard time. I'm like, I just know how to do it, but it's like, because I watched.
Yeah, I just tell them. I just literally grab people and like just do it over and over and over again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it. Yeah. Like I used to train other baristas when they were new, and I'm like, okay, so this is how you do. I'm like, it's not gonna do you any good if I just tell you how to make a latte. You have to like do the latte. I'll show you how.
On the job learning, absolutely, huge fan.
And then you have to do it while it's busy too, or else you're not gonna be able to be an effective whatever barista if you get scared because of the busyness and all that stuff. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But like with my ESTP brother and my ESFP mom, they try to teach me by just showing it to me, and they expect me to just get it by that. There used to be like this little kid that I knew or I saw on TV, and like they learned the popping dance. I don't know, like when you are able to pop your joints a certain way.
Yeah.
And I was like, this has got to be an SE Dom kid or an SE kid who's learning how to like look at a person and then just know how to do it through that.
Yeah, I would add that because of our lighthearted nature, people are more surprised when we hit the bullseye on the first try than maybe another SE Dom, like an ESTP like an or a more serious person, you know, because you expect them to do it. And then when we do it, people think it's freak luck until we do it again, you know, because
beginner's luck,
we seem as if we don't take things seriously, but we really do. And it's just in a different way. It's hard to explain, but
no, I know exactly what you mean. That's
I find
funny.
People underestimate us a lot. Like when you hit it, it's like, whoa, you could do that? It's like, yeah, dude, I'm not crippled, you know.
Yeah. I just don't talk trash, you know. So like it's like an ESTP might talk more trash than ESFP.
Yeah, it's so funny. I experienced the same thing with cooking and baking and stuff. They're like, "You made this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Sorry, go ahead, Nari.
For me, Joyce, it doesn't come across in like sports, but I used to play the violin, and if I heard a song once, then I could reproduce how it was supposed to sound. Wow. So I think that's where it translates.
Okay, I think you're onto something because you know how it's hit or miss and stuff, and some doesn't apply. Well, I think that it's every function manifests differently in people.
Yes.
So you know how it's like for me, it doesn't show up in sports, it doesn't show up in dancing, but so I think when I play piano, I could play songs by ear. So there's never know.
I love that. Yeah. It's not just body, like physical body, but I guess playing an instrument is. But no, I never thought that's so cool.
Yeah,
I cannot do that. So.
Right, rather than like physical movement of body, it's more like auditory reproduction, being able to
yes,
that's so cool. It's still the senses.
And so the theme is like observational learning and just being able, whether it's cooking, music, auditory, or dancing, or whatever your area of sport or just sensory thing is. Like there's this type of quick learning sometimes that SE has because it's able to take in the variety and to work with it and to reproduce it and just learn quickly, like a quick learner. Yeah.
It's really interesting. It's a really interesting topic.
That's
yeah. It's so cool to learn all of your talents from this. Like just zipping through the topic. All right, next Mimo Demo.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's how I feel. I actually related to this one as well. I feel like I can get so angry. I'm like, I'm going to open my mouth because this is going to be bad. But then nobody takes me seriously when I'm angry.
Oh my god.
That is so relatable. I mean, that FI can just get you fired up.
Yeah.
Literally, like, oh my god, that's just so true. Because, like, you know, for me, when I have shitty internet, like, I'll feel like this freaking fire inside of my heart, and then when I open my mouth, it's just cuss words and looking like a little kid. or even worse, when I'm mad about a topic, and I feel all this rage, and then I try typing it out, or I try speaking out in real life, and it just looks like a little kid stuttering over themselves. Like that SpongeBob meme.
It's like so hard to put like effective or like words to like what I want to say, because I get so, if I'm really passionate about something, like, or something, if I do get annoyed by something, if I'm passionate, or if you kind of like cross a line, I feel like the FI in some ways, it's like in conflict with things. I don't want to be mean to somebody, because I wouldn't I don't want to say something I don't mean.
Yeah.
And if someone keeps pushing me, I'm like, you got to give me a second. But like inside, it's like, I got to calm my FI down because you crossed the boundary, but also I don't want my FI to cross another boundary of mine, which would be being really mean to somebody and saying something I don't mean. And so then sometimes I have troubles like with boundaries because of that. But but it's like, it's all inside you. Then when it comes out, I don't even know how to put right. I don't know. It's just hard to express like my anger sometimes.
Yeah, I would echo that and say I definitely have an issue about boundaries sometimes. And,
it makes me feel better.
I'm the same person at work as I am at home and everywhere. And it's easy to overshare. And then as far as getting angry, someone will wrong me, and then I end up being the one apologizing because of my reaction to it, like unbridled FI just exploding, and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, when really I'm thinking, wait, they're the ones who did something bad. Why am I the one apologizing, but then I do it? Maybe it's that 3-wing 2. And
I was just going to ask if like you think the 2 has anything to do with that, because like obviously 2 has can have codependent tendencies. And we talked about flavors of ESFPs on the panel the other month. And I was just wondering, do the 7s and the 4s, and I know, Nari, you don't know yours, but like, do y'all relate to that, boundaries?
I do a little bit. I guess I relate to this idea that I'm the same person everywhere I go, and maybe that's a little bit inappropriate. And it kind of like, like I feel like most people have some kind of filter that they show to the world. They're like they change up they're thinking about how others are perceiving them before they do things. And I
definitely am not the same at work.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
I relate to that 100%.
Yeah. If I'm my full self at work, they would think I was insane. So, which they may already anyway. But at least I keep it at bay a little bit. The downside to that is that I feel like even though there's people I've worked with for a really long time, that they don't really know me. Because I don't ever show like my full self at work.
Yeah, I can relate to that too. I think I'm either one of those two things where it's like either I'm too scared to be myself, so I'm not myself at all. I have a real like everything's shut down, or I'm just like I feel comfortable and I'm too much of myself and I'm like too open, and then I make myself vulnerable basically. So it's like. And then it really hurts when somebody attacks you, I guess, because it's like I feel like I present myself to the world like, here I am, world.
The
like
intention is so pure.
And when somebody's mean to me, it's like, why are you mean to me? I'm only ever nice to you, and I'm only ever like looking for good vibes. Like,
then you have like the best of intentions. I think FI is so it can feel so intention based, really. But my heart was like in all the right places, like.
And then when it comes to anger and then expressing your anger. With FI, it's like, oh my gosh, FI, I think hinders me sometimes. Like, I think when I'm really bad blow-ups, I'm like yelling from TE almost, like, you're incompetent or whatever. But from when I have, like, when my feelings are hurt, it's like, oh, I'm just like getting choked up and like sad more than anything. So then that puppy feeling.
Like, no, it's so like funny. My chest well up. You even saying that, I relate to that so much.
It's so funny you said that, Ikraam, because like when I think, oh, like, why did somebody do that? I'm like, that's so mean. It's like kicking a puppy. Like, I always feel that. Like, that's the reaction. I'm like, I'm just there defenseless. Why are you being so mean?
That happens to me a lot because I have to have a filter around, like a cuss word filter, and of course, dirty joke filter around family because I'm so judgmental about that stuff. Other than that, everywhere I go, I'm just, you can take me or leave me. And usually people leave me, and that's fine. But why do you gotta do it so mean?
Usually people leave me.
Like.
It's interesting. There's like this talk about like being able to be your full self and sometimes not being able to. And I wonder if like male ESFPs, like sometimes when they're in an environment where they're not allowed to like kind of be themselves, like as a man, it's just harder to kind of be like your full emotional self and have it accepted too. So I guess like with women, it's easier to be your FI self, but for men, it might be harder for some of them, unless you're so FI that you're like, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna be myself regardless of what people think. You know what? But it can be kind of stifling to be a feeler man.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true, especially when children are involved, because people tend to like assume something sinister about grown men, you know, enjoying spending time around children if it's not your own kids. And so I've experienced that a lot, where there's like the same exact things that I could say or do if a woman did, you know, about kids or around kids. Everyone would just think it was normal, you know, to say like, oh, that kid, what they did was really cute, you know. But if I say that, then people look at me suspect.
Yeah. I remember like having, sorry, this is going to get so dark, but I remember like having feeler guy friends, and they told me like how they can't be their feeler selves, because what would happen is like you get beat up when you're kind of like that. But it's like not all, but I realized that it might be a thing for some people. And I realized that with like yeah, there's a double standard, and sometimes like, yeah, like with children, when, or like with vulnerable feelings of any sort, when guys share it, it gets a different response than when girls do it, unless they have an accepting progressive friend group.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing that you've seen, Joyce, with feeler men. Like I had a friend who was an ISFP, and yeah, he straight up told me, he's like, yeah, I basically had to shut down who I was in high school because I got beat up like multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll just wait until I get to be an adult and be myself.
I mean, that's where there's this
The
whole
problem with
sort
that
of...
is that I did the same thing, and then it's really hard to get out of that, you know, because I made the conscious choice to become the quiet kid when I was in school, because I felt like, well, the quiet kids don't get picked on, people leave them alone. And it worked.
Yeah.
And the problem was people continued to live really lonely because nobody wanted to spend time with me, because they knew me, because I sort of self-isolated, which is why for a long time I thought I was an introvert, because, you know, I was so like socially awkward, and all of the sort of like superficial things about introversion, like I related to, but it was, you know, I had to figure out over time that wasn't my actual preference. That was just the adaptation that I had made to my life circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like how we adapt to survive. Like there's a spectrum of how socially extroverted an ESFP is. Like there's the stereotypically socially extroverted ones, but there's also the more introverted side ones. So there's a spectrum of it. Mm-hmm. And so that's a really, really good point.
Yeah, I would just piggyback on the kids thing. Like a lot of people think I'm immature because like I have a 7-year-old and I'll just play with them, like go right into his world. Like he fights with these Beyblade spinning tops and I get into it, man. Like we do contests and everything. And well, I won't get into all the personal stuff, but I just take a lot of grief for like, you know, you need to be more of a father and less of a best friend. And, you know, I guess that's a struggle I have that I bet other ESFP males can relate to. Is like not taking that manly truck guy leadership, you know, role, and instead, you know, being more like a little kid myself and just wanting to play and put the real world on the shelf for a little while, you know.
I think it's great that you do that.
I love that.
I love that. That's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
like what Joyce said, you kind of have to be surrounded by people that understand that.
I relate the most to the part Shane said about easily going into the child's world, because I feel like I've always done that, and it's the thing that the people who don't do that probably find the most strange about me, or, you know, have seemed to think that you know, there's something like sinister or weird about that. And to me, it's just like it's just so easy to do, because to me it's like the purest thing. Kids don't care about all of these other things that make adults jaded. They just want to, you know, have fun and enjoy what they enjoy. So they're like more relatable than most of the adults that I encounter. So it's easy for me to like you said, just go into that world and relate.
FI causes this childlike quality in people and appreciating that youthfulness. And I guess we covered it really well. Anyone else want to add to the meme before we move on?
I said let's do the next one.
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
I agree.
Okay.
So this is one of those memes that I don't relate to. So much drinking memes, and I was like, why are ESFPs the alcoholics of the MBTI?
Oh my God, right? Like
I don't relate to that one as much.
I'll say that I haven't drank for almost 2 years now. I just wanted to stop. Just, it was an accident first, and then it just a week led to a month, and now it's been a year and 10 months. And as healthy and great as it all is, I have to say my social life just has taken a complete hit. Like, I've gone out with friends maybe 2 or 3 times in that whole time span. The whole dating life has just gone, I set things up, and then when it comes time to do it, I'm just flaking. Whereas if I was partying, I'd be like, yeah, come over, let's, I'd be like every night, all-nighters, work the next day, another all-nighter. And now it's like, it's so boring, but I have more money. I'm never late for work. I always feel good. My workouts are good. I'm at my high school weight. I'm like great in every way, but socially it sucks. It's like my quarantine started back then,
Ooh, yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Good for you, though.
Yeah.
Well, I guess kind of good for me, but I wonder, no one likes a quitter.
Just from, not to perpetuate stereotypes, but I feel like I drank enough for you last night.
Honestly, though, so I can't legally drink yet, so I can't say whether or not I definitively relate to the meme, but I do relate to wanting to hang out with friends. I don't want a dry social life. When I do get out there, I want to hang out with my friends a lot. But, I can't think yet. I might, if he said, come over and have some Dr. Pepper, I could relate.
I didn't hear the beginning of what Shane said, but he did say something about how he's always on time. And I said, and it made me think, I've been at the job that I'm at now for more than 15 years. And the total number of days that I've been actually on time, technically when I'm supposed to be there, is probably 18 or 20 days. That's just a rough estimate. It might be less than that. I don't really remember, but I
relate to that hardcore.
I'm late to everything pretty much ever. So
That's so funny.
I think our orientation to time is just really different, than at least SJ's, but
yeah.
I think my mom. I'm suspecting that maybe one of my parents was an SJ. Well, they taught me just to get there earlier than the time you're supposed to get there. And that ran off on me because I always actually show up to time on events that I care about. Mm-hmm. Events that I don't care about, that's a different story. I might not even show up to those at all. But the ones I do care about, I'm early as hell. Sometimes I'm the only person there first because I'm excited. Like this panel, I'm early to this panel. I'm early to events because I want to be there.
Yeah. I'm HR, so I'm on time every single day. I'm either early or on time.
I was late for a flight to Disney World. So if I was late to that, then I can be late.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So there's a scale of how late and early ESFPs are. I know that the traditional stereotype of the perceiver is late, but as you see, a lot of perceivers come on time as well. But there are some they go with the stereotype and some that don't. It's just
you gotta take a lot of things into account. You gotta take upbringing into account. You gotta take how much you care about the thing going to into account.
Yeah,
and also you can get better at it by putting it into your FI. Because for me, it was so bad, really bad when I was younger, to the point where I was showing up to things hours late. What the heck's your problem? And so finally I was okay, I'm gonna be better at this. And then I started showing up pretty early. And then what ended up happening is that people got so used to me being late that I'd be the one waiting for them for half an hour. I just assumed that I was going to be late. But anyway, yes, you can get a lot better at it.
Yeah, I always tell people that not all SPs are messy slobs who are late to everything. I am, however.
I saw this meme today, and it was good. This meme said it was have you ever been running so late for something that you just take your time getting ready? And I busted out laughing. I was yeah. It's you just take your time. You're whatever. Yeah.
You got to be fashionably late. At least when you show up, look good.
Yeah, it's like you're so late already. Just take your time getting ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
How I am with work. Like if I'm so late where like I'm just getting in the bathtub, at the time I'm supposed to be there, then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna relax for a few minutes because I'm not gonna be in a hurry.
You're already late, so.
I'm imagining you having like a Cleopatra milk bath, like as soon as you're supposed to be with like petals in the bathtub and stuff.
You guys know what spa situation?
Yeah, not quite. I haven't done like fix a bubble bath or anything on a work day.
Yeah.
Ikraam, I like what you said about like pairing that with FI. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't like to be late, and I'm actually sometimes early, is because I hate waiting on people. So if I'm there and I'm waiting, I'm like, why are people being so inconsiderate? So I want to make sure that I'm not doing that myself.
Exactly.
Yeah. I learned that there's like two camps of ESFPs. So there's the one ESFP camp that is late to a lot of things. Like I had an ESFP friend when we went to events, like we'd be so late that she'd do things slowly because she'd take her time getting up, like getting ready and looking pretty, because we're already late. So might as well just be very pretty and then be late too.
Yeah. At least look good if you're gonna be late. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's one camp of ESFPs. The other camp of ESFPs is my mom. And so my mom is actually like sometimes like hyper early to things. It's almost like my ESFP mom will try to get us earlier ready because she knows that it's very easy to get late if you're not like paying attention. And so like there's two camps of ESFPs, ones that are late and ones that aren't. But if they're able to integrate into their FI, then they can be on time.
I get there early because I don't want to miss out on the event. And I'll miss out on the beginning half or whatever. And then I'll be like, no, I'm late and I missed out on half of the thing. So I'm like, wait, I'd rather wait for people than have people wait on me and do a bunch of cool stuff, and then I didn't even get to see any of it.
Okay, so it's your FOMO. You have a FOMO, and it causes you to be there on time.
Gabe's got FOMO, so I'll be on time to places.
Yeah, that's another good hack.
Yeah, F stands for FOMO.
But it doesn't work when you're at the fun, right?
If it's for work, it's not fun. Yeah, so that's why I can't really engage enough FOMO for that.
There's no FOMO to be had.
Speaking of work and not being late, I'm going to stay with the video, but I have a 2:30 appointment, so I'm going to try to keep going and have my fun and play at the same time. All right. So
cool.
I'm not leaving, but you're going to see my background change a little bit.
For sure.
Right?
If you see a customer, you gotta introduce them to MBTI.
So funny.
Yeah. Something we learn in the official MBTI is perceivers like to work and play at the same time. So like perceivers are awesome at integrating play with work, and that's like what they're known for.
Yeah.
I always had work first and then play shoved down my throat as a little child. But I think it doesn't work like that. You can do it both.
Yeah.
Or you can do one before the other. You can do it however you want. You're your own person.
Yeah.
And
I've
that works
told
better
people that are familiar with typology that what my job is, if I describe my actual job duties of what I'm supposed to do, they tell me it's like a really SJ job or ISTJ job. And I say, well, the thing is when I talk about like what I actually enjoy doing during the day, the fact that I never know who's going to come in the office, I'm going to have to talk to, who's going to call on the phone. Like I'm presented with so much variety in terms of what I actually have to do in a particular day. That's the fun part for me. Like the opposite of what the ISTJ would be like, all these interruptions. I just want to do my job steadily and do the same thing, the routine every day. And I'm like, if it was like that, I wouldn't have been able to stay there. But the fact that it's like from day to day, I don't know what's going to happen. That's why I can continue to go back there and not be like, oh, this is driving me crazy.
Oh, so you like the unexpected elements to your work? That kind of like feeds. Yeah.
Like I enjoy, entertaining people. That's like my number one thing, a chance to improv, to whatever is thrown at me. And so like there were times where I had a former coworker that was an ISTJ that she was the one who was supposed to be the primary phone answerer, but she would do it, but she was annoyed by that. It was like she had other things to do and she really didn't want to talk on the phone. So there were times in which basically she would just basically begged me to pick up the phone and talk to whoever it was. And sometimes I just made a game out of it because it's like I knew it was something that wasn't really important. You know, it was somebody that was just trying to sell something or something, you know, just whatever like that. Then I would just get on the phone, and that's an opportunity to like basically be a character and just, you know, enjoy myself, say whatever. You know, obviously not anything that's going to actually get the company in trouble, but just, you know, something that you know, I would change my name frequently. You know, I'd be like, this is Rodrigo, may I help you? You know, things like that. You know.
That's amazing.
That's hilarious. That you chaos monkey, Jeff. And so, any last words before we move to the next meme?
Just that I wonder if this is going to be an ESFP panel habit where somebody's talking and driving.
I know, him for John right now.
Yeah, oh my God.
SE leads can do that.
Literally, there has to be at least one person driving in this panel.
I guess it's proof that I'm an SE lead.
Yes.
Oh, I can tell. Love it.
Blades and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do some exercise as well, guys. Like, watch me wipe out a few times.
We're gonna do some yoga while we're having this stuff.
Yeah, I did that a few weeks ago. I virtually participated in a convention at the same time I was doing my home dumbbell workout. So
you multitasker, SP.
It's pretty funny.
Next meme.
Please don't talk to me. I have no self-control and will talk to you for 2 hours and get no work done.
Yep.
Honestly, like
That's me.
I think that's an important part of a job. If I'm gonna have a job of sitting on a computer, like I better have people talking to me because that's just gonna be like, or on the computer, I better have access to social media or something. I can't just sit the entire day and not like just have that kind of thing happen.
yeah, I was actually thinking about that on the previous time, thinking about the work environment, because I'm like, I it's sort of a double-edged sword in that I want people to talk to me enough that I stay like engaged and not just falling asleep. But then they can't do it where I'm focused on talking to people because then I don't get any work done. So it has to be kind of a balance.
Yeah, it's funny. So I used to have an ESFP friend in math class, and if she would talk to me during math class, there would be less work that she would do.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
I think ESFPs can multitask, though. Wouldn't you guys agree to that?
Yes.
It depends on what it is. I mean, obviously it can.
It's just the people we talk to don't get their work done. So that's
Yeah.
just screw them over.
I felt like I learned better when I was like talking to my friends about whatever topic we were talking about, and then I was like, I kind of gave up about even doing things in the presence of other people. Where I'm like, I just need to be home in my room, lock the door, into total silence, and then I can focus. But I never understood how people could just like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to you right now. I'm gonna write. I'm like, but this is the only time I have like all my friends in the same room.
Exactly.
Like,
it pains me.
I used
I
to
have to do it sometimes, but it's still painful. Like, especially people people that I like talk. There are people
Exactly.
that talk around me that I wish would go away, but it's not because I don't want to talk. It's because of just those particular people are annoying or uninteresting. But people that I like talking to, then yeah, I have to fight that because I'm like, no, I've got to concentrate on whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
If it's something that I can kind of do in my sleep, that it really is just such an easy task that I can just knock it out while I'm talking to somebody, then that's different. And I look the same way, like music, background.
Hey, you guys, my appointment's here. I'm going to have to cut out for about 15 minutes and then I'll come back.
Okay,
All
so
right.
For sure.
Enjoy.
We'll see you then, Shane.
Well, like I use school to just talk to my friends because at home I obviously don't have my friends. So I split it up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do jack crap in school and then go home and do it because what else am I gonna do? Like it's either all or nothing for me. I mean, I can do it at the same time, but it takes the fun out of talking to the person if I have to do work at the same time.
Yeah.
Just push it off.
My problem in school was I would say I was going to do it later, and then I still wouldn't. So
Yeah.
I found a responsible kind of. Oh, sorry. I found a
Oh, no,
responsible.
you're good. Go on. Yeah.
I found a responsible kind of workaround sometime in high school where I'm like, okay, so I know that I'm really not going to get a lot of work done in class, but at lunchtime, I'm not going to hang out with my friends. I'll get my work done at lunch so that I can hang out with my friends after school. So it was.
It's a good workaround.
Yeah, it worked.
Tricking yourself. Yeah, I was going to say that meme actually makes me think when I was studying for the CPA exam. I just moved to Dallas and a young, working professional. And I only had like one. It's like there's the CPA exam. If people don't, I don't know if they have that in Canada, but it's in the United States. It's certified public accountant. But there's like 4 sections. It's it's for me personally, it was a beast of an exam. But I only had one section pass when I first moved to Dallas. And you get there in this like new fun city, and you're young, and you're living like in a cool area. And I literally had to start taking PTO from work to study. And when I would study, I would go in a corner where I couldn't see anything behind me. I felt like I almost taped that on the back of myself. I was like, look, I can't even have like any distractions, like I guess visual distractions.
Yeah.
They'll never, I was like, my brain wanted a distraction so bad. I had to like zap it. I was like, no distractions. You're going to look at a corner.
I'm the exact same way.
And I put my phone away. I put it on silent. I would text my mom before I did it. Like 8 hours, I would be studying or something. Yeah. I put it away. I was like, Mom, if I don't, I'm alive. I'm hating my life. I'm alive. I'm just studying, you know? Put it away where it's like you had to deprive yourself.
Yeah.
Of that stimulation.
Yeah. I always lived in the worst building of our university. Like literally it's so dark and sad. And I only did it because it was so depressing that nobody would want to talk. And it was like the silent floor. And all the desks had long little like dividers, so you could not see anything. And then I went and I did take the corner desk, and I would sit there for an entire day and just study. I also find it easier to do big blocks. You guys, like I always judges. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not a consistent studier, so I'm like, let's do a 10-hour day. We'll do another 10-hour day tomorrow. Let's cram.
I think they're more likely to do the thing where it's like they study 1 hour a day or whatever. But I always found that way harder than just studying for like a big. Because I don't know. I think the idea is that like it's harder to do big time blocks of time because you're using a lot of brain power. But I'm like, it's the opposite for me. I find like I'm more immersed and like I'm fully with the information.
Exactly.
And I can train it more when I do big chunks of time. Obviously, you have to do that early because that's where us perceivers like mess up. Is that we do it before the day before the test. We got to do it earlier than before the test, but.
Right, but no, yeah, but like I don't want to set aside just 1 hour every day to study because I'm like, well, that's going to put a damper on my day.
Yeah,
if I'm going to ruin my day, let's take the whole day and study. Yeah,
literally, I will like my family tries to like enforce this. Do an hour a day of this? No, because now I wake up and I'm like, oh crap, my day is now worse because I have to do this for an hour. Can I just have a bunch of free days and do it when I want?
Just defer it into the future for a weekend or something. Yeah, defer all those hours into one.
That way I have a better day and a better.
By the way, I'm still listening to you guys. I'm just trying to do my work and play at the same time.
Yeah, very ESFP. and so there's two themes going on here. It's either the ESFP is unable to concentrate when people are around, or if they're a type 3 ESFP, they can concentrate because they're a 3 achiever, but the other person is now distracted.
Doing my best. All right, I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay.
For sure. We'll see you then.
Well, I'll be listening in the meantime.
Yeah.
Your conference.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 I think Joyce, you and I have a great like occupation when it comes to like work and like the human side of things because we're supposed to connect with employees, so we're supposed to make those connections and having those conversations. So like if somebody does interrupt me, it's sort of like, oh well, this is work too. Okay, I have an excuse.
Yeah. In HR, like people would come in my office just to talk to me about like life and like how they felt in their workplace, and I'm like, I just love this. I could talk about this all day, and I get paid for it, and just like being with people, listening to them. And so it's a very human oriented job, which feelers might like excel in the talking to people just about themselves, and it's like a very people oriented.
That is so much fun. Like, that's why I want to go be an Uber driver, I think, because you get paid to just talk to people and meet all kinds of cool people.
I thought about that.
That actually gives me like a lot of excitement just thinking about it. You just meet new people every time.
There's a trend here. ESFPs and like meeting new people. It seems like the SE likes distractions, and including that equals like people distractions.
If you see the same people all the time, it's really stale. Like think stale popcorn, but that stale popcorn is your entire life.
Yeah. The SE needs novelty.
I think
meeting new people helps like broadens like horizons and perspectives. In the sense, I think SE does really well in that like arena because I think it's like stimulating, but also just to open up your mind a little bit. I mean, I don't know, just like new information. I'm sure it's probably the perceiving function at play there, but.
Oh, true. Yeah. Interesting.
This whole business though.
I on the entire interaction.
He's listening, that's why. Good on you, Shane.
Yeah, awesome. So basically, we got through 1/5 of the memes.
I'm talking about each one, so got a lot of content.
So guys, since we only got through 1/5 of the memes, it's probably gonna be like a few more parters to this. Shout out to John. Sorry you couldn't have come, but then we're making a few more parts with you, so stay tuned, John. You're gonna join back the ESF posse.
We missed you.
I just want to say that, Joyce, just the amazing, I don't know how to word this, but the fact that you have 6 ESFPs in a room with you in one thing, and you're able to have as many like coherent conversations as you do, that in alone is an accomplishment. So I wanted to congratulate you for being able to pull that off.
Yeah, thank you.
You seem to want to be the one that's talking, so.
Yeah, thank you for adding SP content to the world. I'm happy that, you and Ikraam get to be like YouTubers who add more ESFP representation. You're
You're an influencer.
We need more sensing content out on YouTube.
One episode out and it's just a hobby. Okay, but okay.
Don't pressure anything now, Ikraam.
For sure, yeah. So it was lovely having all you ESFPs on. It's been an ESF party. I've been having so much ESF positivity. I'm trying to make the puns.
ESF puns.
You guys really helped ESF pump it up during this time. Yeah, thank you for this ESF panel. It has been an ESF pleasure.
Love it.
Love that one.
Yeah, I just love you guys. Like, I've gotten to know you guys personally too, and after that amount of time, like, how can I not adore you guys?
Oh my god, I love doing these panels with y'all.
I love your content so much. Your content is very helpful for me, so I love to be a part of this and to know all y'all.
Me too.
I love both this panel and then like our chat on Facebook as well. It's just full of such good vibes that
I love it. It's so uplifting.
Good
and I
energy.
feel better. Like every time I interact with y'all, it's like a high.
I feel like I know y'all. It's weird.
Yeah.
Not to stress you out, Ikraam, but I kind of feel like I know you.
Ooh, yeah.
Thank you for being my family. Thank you for being my Ohana.
Thank you for having us on this panel. Oh my god, I just love looking at these memes. This is so much fun.
You add warm fragments to my heart.
Oh, I gotta be on this side. Yeah.
We're all gonna do like a little heart thing. Oh man.
We should do that as a thumbnail. Let's do this as a thumbnail.
Oh yeah, I like it.
I'm having a hard time doing this.
Yeah.
See if I can pull it
I'm having to
off.
hold this up with my other hand, so I can't do a two-handed thing.
You do that.
There
I
you
just have to
are.
imagine that this is actually hard.
Cool.
Awesome.
And so, great. Thank you for tuning in, audience members. I hope you enjoyed this ESF party, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye. See ya.
Yeah.